Hello everybody and welcome back to what will be a short epilogue on the Dominions 5 game we had with Mr. Schniente, a 1v1 Agartha versus Ulm. In the last episode we ended the series and I conceded since we were outgunned by a far margin. If we look at the board here, I don't think anyone will dispute my decision. This is turn 36, the final turn, and we can clearly see that Ulm has a big advantage here. And even though I more or less own the seas, he's claiming the islands, and he was just running around in circles around me. So definitely the game was over. I still want to point out that I have regretted not fighting on a little bit. Maybe giving it 2 more turns. I already did that a few times, gave it a few extra turns. I still think you never know with Dominions 5, first of all, so you should keep fighting. Even when there's no chance, at least it maybe would have been fun for you guys to see me struggle for it and try to fight back, try out some different things. Oh, he killed my god, didn't he? Yeah. So it would not have been easy, but whatever. GG to Mr. Schniente, if I haven't already said it. I think he's been following the series. I'm sorry that he didn't record his part of the playthrough, but that's what happens. We are currently in talks about doing another one in which we will be recording as we go, and I will try to make him stick to it. So that will be coming, but we've only just started talking about it right now. I was hoping I had my Lattice game that I've teased ready for you at the end of this playthrough, but that one is not quite done yet. And if we started releasing it now, we would catch up to the game, I think, before it ended. So, tools and manuals, create pretender guards, Middle Ages. Yes, we do not have any mods enabled. Good. And Agartha. So we're gonna have a short look at Agartha again. There are a few thoughts that I wanted to address. Let's start with the Earth Reader and my general strategy around. This is a bad screen to show this from. I'll illustrate my point better if we go into the game again. I know I just closed it. Here we go, Agartha. Good. So for research in this game, I was running a really low game strategy, and be that as it may, that may not have been a good choice. But with that in mind, I end up with forts like this one here and this one here, which with 4 of these Earth Readers. This is the biggest concern of mine. This one, we can see that I made a change during the game in strategy-wise in trying to recruit more of these Golem Crafters. The problem with this fort, for example, is that it's basically undefended. This army here, these guys, there are 9, 12, 15 Earth Readers, and in a battle they would not be able to do anything, at least not to an Ulmish army. Like, they can do basically nothing. They deal no damage. They can hurl rocks, but that's not going to kill anything but very basic shitty troops. Basically, this is a bad strategy is what I'm getting at. And it plays out well with research because of the magic. You get a lot of research per gold, but you lose any effectiveness in troops themselves. So maybe what I would have wanted to do is do something different with magic, and then use Golem Crafters as the primary researchers, and then throw in some Earth Readers that will probably still be more money efficient, but you shouldn't fill forts with them like we have here. Basically, if this fort was attacked, they would not be able to sally out and do anything, whereas like instead of 15 of them, you have 10 of the Golem Crafters, which they can go to Earth 3 just by themselves in a battle, and then throw molten rocks, or they can do very low level water stuff, but it still gives them some flexibility. They are definitely way better combat mages. So that's one thing that I feel like I did wrong, is having forts like this. Let me know what you guys think. There's the other side of the coin to this thing here is that yes, it's very cheap and it's very efficient, so that's good. And like you will never ever finish the research tree, even though we should try. As Agartha, research is really important. We got nowhere near where we wanted to go, so maybe this is actually fine, because this is the cheapest way we've gotten to research at this point in the game. And the fact that we never use them doesn't matter. We will use the things that we recruit to use in battles. So that's a thought. The next thing that I was thinking about is something like these guys here. Our Magma Children army that I quite like. These guys are really good on their own, but I'm wondering how good players will use these Magma Children most effectively. The problem is you can't mix them in with other troops, but this is pretty effective when it works. They can go forward, they burn everything. Very few things can actually stand against this kind of fire, but they die really easily. They are like glass cannons, so it could have gone wrong if they met a proper Olmish army. And I'm wondering what a good strategy for using Magma Children more efficiently would have been. Maybe you could do something with the Pretender and the Bless, giving some fire resistance. That's definitely an option. Still figure it's really hard to mix it in with the Agarthan troops. So that's really troublesome for Agartha, I think. The final thing I would point out would be the Pretender itself. And for that we will now go in and look at Agartha. Other than those few things, I don't have a lot of complaints about the nation as a whole. I think it's a really complex and really strong nation. If you play it right, you can definitely do better than I did. Golden Pillar. Maybe Golden Pillar is not a bad choice, but since we were fighting Olm, we would definitely need a different kind of Pretender. Otherwise, I was thinking something like a Titan God would be quite nice to super combatant against the Olmish armies. I'm not sure which one of these would be the ideal one. Oh, goddammit. Middle Ages. Agartha in here. Maybe grab her. Miss Gaia here. She's not really a super combatant deep type, but we could go to 7 for regeneration, which is what people have recommended me that I do for Agartha in the future. Then mix it in with, I don't know, reinvigoration, probably, because Olm, now we know we're fighting Olm, fire and shock resistance is not the most useful thing. Reinvigoration will help with all the mages, and a little bit for the shot guards. Then maybe even Strength of Earth mixed in, so we can overcome Olmish armor. I think that's a nice little bless, if nothing else. And then you could add in, let's try adding in the fire resistance. Maybe that's the best thing, since we get the Ruach's Pact. Otherwise, for another playthrough with Olm, I would really like an Air Pretender for not for air shield down here, but just take swiftness, which I think will be nice for the shot guard. Comboed with, I don't know, minor shock resistance, since you'll be throwing down storm. You'll do storm and air shield and all the anti-ranged things. Also lightning spells overcome armor really well. So I think this would be a nice build. And now the shot guard have regeneration and a little bit more strength. Then we want still as high as we can go in the 3 money-making things, still low in misfortune, and I would want a dormant god, but there's no way we could get points for this. High in heat cold, we're not really close. If we dump magic, which is something that I thought about doing, if we dump magic, Golem Crafters will do 3 research. Oh, sorry, no, 3 less, so 10 total. And then they would be the primary researchers, and Earth Readers would be basically useless. So that's a way to go about it. Now we have a dormant god. I would have preferred she was awake. Maybe we would go one lower in production, one higher in Dominion. I'm not saying this is a good build, but I think this would be better than the Pill of Righteous Flame. The Great Mother, how is she in melee? She already has regeneration, so she would have double. She can trample the Olmish troops. Okay, I'm honestly thinking that this would be a pretty good build for her, or a pretty good chassis to take. High HP, good magic resistance. She would just trample and throw spells down, obviously. Instead of the high astral that we went with, which didn't really work out. So yeah. Something like this would have maybe been better. Her Earth 2 makes it sensible. The Risen Oracle is immortal, which is nice, but the problem is you can't really do a... I was thinking about... that was on the Dominion's Enhanced, that's why we're not seeing it yet. But like this guy here... No, okay, wait. Are there no magic beings here? That sort of defeats my point. The Iron Darts and the Iron Blizzard on the Olmish side deals extra damage to magic beings. So you shouldn't choose a pretender that has that, but apparently none of them do. Not without any mods. Okay. Leader of the Closed Council. Alright. Oh yeah, and that's a good point. This was not a modded playthrough, but the next 1v1 will be with Dominion's Enhanced, the newest version. I hope you guys will enjoy. I don't think I have a lot. Oh, I don't think I have a lot more to say now. Beyond that, well, we could have a short look at Ulm. Some closing thoughts on Ulm. Here they are. I want to say that the main thing I learned through this Let's Play about Dominions is I generally consider, or used to generally consider, bless builds like the main thing or a superior strategy. That you have good blessed units, and the fact that they don't have any blessed units or very, very few throws me off. And when I designed Ulm, I went for a heavy mage bless with invigoration and precision for them to hit stuff, and instead NT showed us a completely opposite thing of that, with no bless at all and no focus on holy things. Very, very little focus on actual mages, except he had brought a lot of these priest smiths, I want to say. Yeah, it must have been them. And it just... he did something completely different than I had ever imagined Ulm would do, which is amazing. Forge bonus 2. These are the good ones, and they can get different paths. Yeah. Didn't see any war dogs. And he just went with, well, which one was it? Richard the Master Alchemist. We can try to recreate it. I think it was something like this. I don't know if he did all the paths, but probably, maybe not blood. Something like this. He had tanked his magic, of course. He tanked his Dominion, or the luck. I think he was down here, up there, up there. Huh. And he's still awake here? What did he do? No reason to raise the Dominion. Even if you went equal here. Maybe if he was dormant, he would surely have more. He didn't go 2 here. Alright. Maybe this was it. If he had gone with 3 and everything, which is what I would probably do then. Yeah, it's a 180 points more, but then you get, I mean, a bless at least. You do if you've decided not to use the bless at all, I guess. I mean, it's a huge difference in points. You can get a lot of gems from just searching in 2 everywhere. And I think this is what happened. Probably not exactly with this Dominion. Schniete, if you are listening, you can maybe let us know down in the comments. It would be interesting to hear. There are a lot of interesting pretenders for Ulm. Also, And something that I did know is that people generally consider the Rainbow Pretenders really maybe even overpowered, and I don't like that strategy at all. Not because it doesn't work, but because I can't wrap my mind around it. I want to make a cool, specialized god that does something, and that's definitely a mentality that is harming my actual success in the game, unfortunately. But whatever. This is an interesting one. That can reanimate on the Pretender. Anunnaki of the Underworld. Never seen you before. The Sweet Waters with 2 elementals at the start of battle. Nice. Alright, I will waste no more time. Hopefully there will be a new Dominions playthrough coming to the channel soon, but if not, then not soon, then at some point at least. And until then, I hope you all enjoyed this playthrough, and I hope you, like me, are looking forward to the next one. See you then. Bye bye.